When you're calling leads, the first 10 seconds always matter the most. Lately, we've been doing new things, right? We've been creating this process of how we go about the lead process, how we go about handling leads, how we go about closing, how we go about the transaction side of things. And I updated you guys on that maybe a few months ago, but I really wanted to just break down something that was useful for the people that do pay attention to us. And I know a lot of people are follow us for the real estate side of it, and some people follow us for more of a business mindset. But I do want to break down the scripting process and what we've changed and the importance of understanding your script. So if you are in real estate or whatever it is, if you're in sales just in general, this is something that has helped me with understanding how to go about scripting, how to go about handling a process like this. The first thing is, when you are building out a script, you're building out something that you have a service or a product that you sell, have a bunch of phone calls that you go through, like you have leads that come in or you're calling leads. The biggest piece is the intro, right? You want to be able to get past that reptilian brain in some sales processes is what they call it, right? So the idea that someone is either in fight or flight, or you call them and they're like, hey, I can't talk right now. I'm at work or whatever else. Being able to understand that during these periods of times when you're calling someone, the people are going to throw up smoke screens because they may not want to call you. Maybe they entered their information, but they're not ready for the conversation. Your job is to be able to provide the best service possible. And so you have to be able to get through this process of rejection. You have to be able to get through the process of, understanding, is this person serious or are they not? Are they wanting to have this conversation or do they not want to have this conversation? Or do they just not have enough information to make the best decision possible? And a lot of people want to stop that conversation before they have enough information because they don't know. And so you've got to be able to break that down. And so the intro is going to be the most important piece to your process. And so it's got to get past that reptilian brain. It's got to get past the I don't want to talk to you, I do want to talk to you. It's the same concept of when someone goes into a store and the store person, the person actually needs help, but the person walks in and they say, hey, how can we help you today? And the person says, I'm just looking, right? That there's still an opportunity to help that person understand what they need, what they don't need, and how to go about this process. And so in real estate, the idea behind being able to help is literally knowledge. How can I give you the most knowledge possible to make the best decision possible, to make the decision whether you want to start looking at homes or you don't? And that's all built in the intro, right? Because if you can't get past the person saying, hello, I can't talk right now or whatever it is, if you can't get past that first objection, then you are not going to make any progress. And that happens to a lot of agents when they first get into business. They don't understand that they are following a script, but they don't know why they're following a script. They don't understand the purpose of the script. And so overall, the idea behind scripting is to be able to guide you as the person who is saying the script through a process to get to the end. If you understand the flow of a conversation, you understand of how to lead a conversation, then you can get to the point of informing this person for them to make the best decision possible by the time you get off the phone. And so Intro is going to be big. This is going to allow you to get past that. And for me, when I'm building out a script, I want you to know what I'm doing, why I'm calling you. It's not going to take long. And ultimately, this is what we're going to go over, right? And so if I can give that to you and I can build that in either a question format or a statement format, I'm going to be able to give you exactly what you need. You're going to understand why I'm calling you, what I want to go over, and ultimately then it's not going to take long. And then that's how you get past that. And so if someone says, hey, I can't talk right now, I'm on the phone, or I'm at work, then you can then say, okay, I understand that you're at work, it won't take long, do you have a couple minutes just to go through this? Majority of the time they're going to say yes. And that gives you the open door policy. You can now follow through with what you need to go through. Now your job is to do that with short amount as possible, providing as much information as possible without running over and not just blabbering. And the way that we frame that is going to be understanding that this person is going to give objections. It's my job to be able to flow those, right? It's going to be one of 3 or 4 or 5 things. And then I can then handle those, and then I feel confident in my ability to get past whatever's coming up. From that moment, I'm asking questions, right? I'm asking questions that ultimately I probably know the answer to, because everybody falls into a couple different categories. And so if I understand that, then I can understand the flow of a conversation. If I understand the flow of a conversation, I know how to move and lead this conversation to ultimately closing or whatever it is. If you can gather information, right? We go through a process of intro, and then we move into criteria, then we move into qualification. From qualification, I know how to present the closer piece. That to me is the easiest way to provide information, understand where this person's at, and then how to navigate them through this process, right? The idea of buying a home and selling a home is very streamlined, right? You list the home, or you find the home, you go under contract. From going under contract, you close. That's the easiest streamlined piece. But there's so many things that happen in that, and so you need to be able to navigate the questions that come up. And so we formulated a process of questions that allow us to have criteria. I know who, what, when, where, and why somebody wants to buy. And then I can then help them create a list of homes or whatever it may be to get them to see what's out there. From that, then I can then move into my qualification, right? Just because someone is looking for a home doesn't mean that they qualify for a home. And so my qualification tier is based off of whatever process or the process of buying a home and whatever those qualifications are. I base it off of that. And then I can then understand, okay, I know what this person wants. I know that they can afford a home and it would make sense for them. I understand their time frame, and I understand how to go about this next step, whether it be closing or whatever it may be. That to me is being able to say, okay, hey, I'm flowing to the close and I know exactly which step to take. Whether this person needs to wait 3 months because they need to build their credit, whether they're ready to go right now, whether they thought, they needed a crazy amount of money down payment, but they only need 3.5% or 0%. And now they're like, oh, I can actually buy now? Okay, well, I thought that I was 8 months out, but it's better for me now if I purchase, right? And so you're able to help that person get into what they're trying to do, and it may be a lot sooner than what they thought. So understanding overall what the point of the script is to be able to understand what this person needs and wants, making sure that they can qualify for what they need and want, and then being able to provide the solution to what they need and want. And from that, it's not salesy. It doesn't come across as oh, this person's trying to hard sell me or whatever. It comes across like this person's trying to help me, because you are, right? You're asking them the correct questions. You are qualifying them and letting them know what the qualifications are, and then they're able to make a decision. Okay, I can do that now, or I can do it in 6 months or 12 years from now, and then you can help them, right? The biggest piece about all of this is probably going to be follow-up, right? If you have a really good script but you don't follow up, then it's pointless, because not everybody is ready to buy now, and not everybody will be willing to buy now. And so you've got to have that long frame mindset of, okay, this may take 5 years. I'm working with a client right now that took me 5 years of follow-up to be able to close. And so you've got to be long game focused, because that's where the money's made. Fortune is made in follow-up. And if you can understand that, process that, and then also have a really good script to be able to get people to understand who you are and what you do and how you can help, then ultimately you will get to where you're trying to go. So yeah, I hope that helps. If you have deeper questions on this process, I can walk you through them. And that's literally why we're here. We're here to be able to provide on whether it be real estate needs or whatever it may be, but also business needs. If I can help in any sort of fashion, I love doing that. And that makes me happy. So reach out, comment, let us know. You can also reach out to me directly, 678-817-8167. That's my personal line. And you can always send me a text if you want something to go a little bit deeper. We had a guy reach out to us who owns a inspection company, Onward Inspections, and he came in, presented to the team, and also ultimately ended up having some really good conversation about his company. And he asked a lot of good questions, and that's what we're here for. So that would be another way of reaching out if you have any questions on anything that we've gone over so far. Talk to you soon.